I have a love-hate relationship with this blouse. I don't like how it fits me. It makes me feel frumpy. The off-white color washes me out. I love the shape of the sleeves, and I love the Swiss dot fabric. I want to upcycle this and turn it into a top that I'm going to love. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's get to it. First thing I want to do is change the shape of the hemline a little bit. Now, right here, which is about an inch below my belly button, I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to angle it down to the side seam on both sides. So what I want to do is grab the front where the buttons are and lay it on its side. And I am just going to line these seams up nicely. Now I have a lining in here. I'm just cutting that as well. Here's my mark. I am going to just cut sort of a rounded curve down just right in front of that side seam. Okay, there's the shape we have now. I cut the lining, and all I'm going to do to finish that off is run a zigzag stitch along the raw edge. And now I want to make flounce ruffles, and I'm going to make them out of this pretty tablecloth that I thrifted. Okay, so I've been practicing, and you might want to do that too. I have an old sheet that I thrifted, and I kind of practiced my ruffles on that. Just laying out my tablecloth, and I have a lid here from an old little cheese box, I believe it was, and it's round and it's 15 inches across. That will be my pattern. I'm going to lay it down on a piece of the lace, take my tailor's chalk, and just trace around it. Now I'm just cutting out my circle. Okay, I switched tablecloths and went to this one because I thought it would fray a little less. Now, I was a little reluctant to do this video because I don't have an exact science for this. I'm just eyeballing this, but I'll show you what I do. I am going to start on the side and just make a little slice and cut about an inch away from the edge of the circle until I get to about there. Okay, now from here for a while, I'm going to ease this into about a 2.5 inch wide band. And now when I get to about here, I'm going to ease it back into the 1 inch. Now, I think that's about enough. Now I'm just going to taper it to the side and make a little point. Now this is what I have. Now see, cutting it in a circular motion gives it an automatic ruffle. Now I measured, just for reference, the 1 inch sections on each side are each about 25 inches, and the 2.5 inch section in the middle is about 36 inches. Now I just want to sew it around the neckline. I will take it to my machine. I'm not going to pin this or anything. And here's the skinny part where it starts getting wider. That's where I'm going to start sewing, right above this button. Why can't I say button? Button? All right. So I am going to use a straight stitch, and I am just going to go close to the neckline. I'm going to do another little piece of trim above it, so I don't have to worry about butting it up against there exactly. And I am just going to follow the neckline all the way around the back, up around the other side, and bring it down. And then I'm going to stop right above that button. And then these little 1 inch tails are just going to hang there. Now I am going to use pink thread because I'm going to be dyeing this pink. So that's what it's looking like, all sewn on. Let's see if I can give you a little bit more of a close-up of the stitching. Now I'm just going back to my tablecloth do exactly like I did for this one, cut a circle and cut it the same shape, only this time I'm going to go a little bit longer because I will be sewing it underneath of this ruffle, making a tier. Okay, I actually cut out 4 more. 2 for the bottom, which I'm going to set aside for now, and 2 more for the neckline, and I'm just going to get that spiral cut. Now I'm going to go get these 2 ruffles sewn. This is the second ruffle. I am going to start it at about the same height as I started this one, putting my stitch about here, and I'm going over 3/4 of an inch underneath of this ruffle, and I'm going to try and stay about 3/4 of an inch away from this stitch all the way around. And then when I get done with that one, I am going to do the exact same thing with this one, only it will be 3/4 of an inch away from the second ruffle. Okay, that's what it's looking like. And I will trim these, but I'm going to wait until I get the bottom ruffle on. I'm going to do 1 more ruffle, and I'm going to cut the same size circle, but I'm going to cut the spiral a little bit differently. Now for the bottom ruffle, I have 2 circles cut. Now that 1 inch section that we start and end with, I'm still going to start and end with that, only this time I'm only doing like a 5-inch section instead of 25 inches of that 1 inch wide. And then I'm going right into my 2.5 inch. Now I'm showing you the bottom of the shirt and how I'm going to sew these ruffles on. I will start at the open end here, and I will just let about 5 inches of that just sort of dangle right there, and then I will sew it all the way around just like I did the neckline. And if I happen to run out wherever I am and I need my other piece, I will stop right about that 1 inch where it becomes 1 inch right here, and then I will just butt up the next one to that and continue going around. And I'm just overlapping this like 1/2 inch. Okay, there's what the bottom ruffle looks like. And now I'm going to trim these up, and I want them just below that ruffle, but I'm going to cut them at a point and just kind of stagger the heights a little bit. Now the last thing I want to do is sew some lace trim around those raw edges, all around the neckline and all along the top of the ruffle at the bottom of this shirt. Now I got this, look at this, vintage lace, 40 yards. It wasn't $20. I got this. I buy lace from eBay in a lot, and I basically paid pennies for this. So I have a ton of it, and that's what I'm going to use. Now I'm just using a straight stitch again, and I am just butting this lace up against the edge of the collar, the neckline, and I want to try to stay just on the outside of that first stitch line we made. Now I'm at the bottom of the shirt, and I am taking that lace and I am just centering it over that stitch I made to sew this on, and just running my needle right down the middle. Sewing is all done. Okay, so I'm going to dye it with Rit Dye More for synthetic fabrics. This is called Super Pink, and I'll be doing it on my stove top. And I have a great video that explains step by step how to use this on the stove top, and I'll put that link in my description. To get to my description, all you have to do is click or tap on the title below this video, and it'll take you right to it. So let's do it. Alrighty, all done. And I just love it. Pink is one of my favorite colors to wear. Now, that dye more was called Super Pink, and it dyed this color, and this is all synthetic. But I dyed a couple things that are cotton for another project while I had my dye out. And this is the color it dyes cotton. So just some good information for you. I am going to slow it down, bring it in a little closer so you can see more of the details, and I thank you so much for watching.